So today's video is a video where we're going to be making a series of Halloween Kawaii Keyrings. These are patterns that I have written myself, so they will feature the full pattern in the video. If you'd prefer not to follow along with a video, however, there will be links to the PDF in the description, so you can go to that one and purchase that one and just follow along with the written pattern if that is your preferred method to crochet. So I have designed 5 different Halloween keyrings, and the plan is to release a pattern once a week over the next 5 weeks just leading up to Halloween. These are all really quick makes. You can make these in about an hour, have them completely finished in that time, and they are super easy to make. Now, if you haven't watched one of my pattern videos before, I will be going through the stitches quite slow to begin with because these patterns are suitable for everyone. My videos are suitable for everyone to learn from. So it means that no one has to click off and go elsewhere if they think that they can't do it. But I will be speeding up as I go through and you know what the stitches are. So let's find out what we need for this project. So I'm using Ricorumi yarn, I think that's how you pronounce it, yarn for this project. I don't have the exact colours to hand. It doesn't actually matter what shades you use because this is a bit of a yarn buster project. Because the keyrings are quite small, it means that we can just use up any odds and ends. If you didn't want to use cotton DK, you can use just normal DK instead. Any sort of fibre if you prefer, but I do like how they come out so smooth and professional looking when you're using the cotton. Also, it does say in the description that you can make a plush with this pattern, so if you prefer to use plush yarn you can, and you will end up with something like this instead. He's about the size of my hand and he's proper cute, so that is also something you can do if you wanted to use plush yarn. So I've got the 3 different colours of the cotton DK, which is a brown, a green and an orange. We of course need a keyring if we're making a keyring. If you're just making it as a little cute toy, of course no keyrings needed. I've got 2 different colour embroidery threads, black and a pink. The pink is for the blush, which isn't overly visible on the pumpkin. I don't know if you can see it just here, but you can definitely see it on all the others. I can't tell you again what shades I've got of these because my grandma left me a suitcase full of embroidery threads. They're over 100 years old. I definitely know this one of course is black, but I can't tell you the shade of the pink because none of them have labels. We also need some scissors. We need a darning needle. I'm of course sticking with my beloved clover hooks, which you see me use in every video, and this is a 2.5mm. And then we need some safety eyes. If you don't like using safety eyes, you can just embroider eyes on at the end, but that is something that I don't like doing because it doesn't look quite as professional with the finished look. This isn't a toy, it's a keyring, so they are safe to use for this. But if you haven't got any safety eyes and you'd prefer just to sew your eyes on at the end, that is definitely something of course that you can do, but I won't be showing how to do that in this video. So of course typical me has forgot something in the what we need. You'll also be needing some fibre fill or toy stuffing, whatever you call it, so you will need a little amount of this. You don't need very much, it's literally like a handful that you need per keyring. So I guess let's just get straight into it, and we're starting off with the orange yarn. So we're starting off this round 1, with a magic ring. Now don't panic. I know a lot of people avoid doing amigurumi little toys because they can't do the magic ring. This is something that I've never failed to teach in one of my videos, so hopefully if you stick with me you'll be able to learn today, so please don't click off the video. I'm just going to put my hook down for a second. So I am right-handed and I will be teaching this right-handed. I do apologise that I cannot do it the other way. Start off with the end of the yarn in your right hand and you've got the length of it in your left. We then want to hold our hand with our palm facing upwards, and you're going to drape that yarn over the front of your fingers. You then want to pinch it with your thumb between your index finger and your middle finger. And here's where you can start moving these fingers now, because we don't need them for the moment. So your yarn is draped down the back of those fingers, and we then want to bring it up over, and we're then going to turn our hand towards us, and it should look like this, and then make a cross with your yarn. And here's where you bring your other fingers back in. Put your ring finger over the end of that yarn just to pinch it in place. So you've got a cross this side, and the other side of your hand should look like this. Here's where we introduce our hook. We're going to go under the top right of the cross with our hook pointing downwards. You want the hook bit to face down. So go down under that one. We now want to pick up the top left of the cross, and that's why we've got our hook pointing downwards, so we can pull it. You just want to drag your hook so it pulls that yarn over to the other side. We're now going to turn our hook towards us. Just got to make sure I've got all that yarn in my hook so it doesn't split. There we go. So I've turned my hook, and now you can see the hook is pointing upwards, and we've also got a cross in that yarn that is just over our hook. So now for the last step. We've got a new top left of our cross, this one just here. So we're going to go and pick that one up and pull that one through the loop that is on our hook. And you've done your magic ring. So now you can remove your fingers. And you will see that your non-working yarn is threaded through the circle, and I always pick that one out, just like so. And now we're ready to go. So we're starting off this pattern with 6 single crochets into the magic ring. I'm going to be doing this pattern in US terms, but I will put up the UK terms as well, just for all those followers that I've got in the UK, so you don't get confused. So a single crochet is a double crochet in UK terms, so they're both exactly the same. We're going to go in through our loop and pull up a stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. So we've done 1. Back in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. There's 2. Back in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. And 6. So we now need to tighten this and make our circular shape. So if you pull on your non-working end, it will tighten it, but do it slowly so your work doesn't curl up. It doesn't have to be so you've got no hole at all there in the middle. That doesn't matter, because we can keep going to and fro. It probably will loosen as we go along. You can just keep pulling on that one to close it whenever you need to. So now on to round 2. For all those that have used my videos before, I don't use stitch markers, and that is purely because I think they get in the way. If you need to use a stitch marker, if you think you're going to forget where the start of your round is, then I would advise putting one in your first stitch just here where the start of your round is. For this round, we need to do an increase in every stitch. At the moment, we've got 6 stitches because we did 6 into the magic ring. If we're doing 2 in every stitch, we will have 12 stitches by the end of the round. So this is an SC increase for US terms, or a DC increase for UK terms. So I'm going into my first stitch. I'm going to pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both. I'm going back in through, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both. For all those people that have been crocheting for a while, you may have noticed that I did something slightly different there. I did a yarn under and then a yarn over. And that is because when it comes to making amigurumi, so toys, especially out of the cotton yarn, it means you have a more closed stitch with less gaps so your stuffing doesn't show through. So I'll show you how to do it in the next stitch. So go into the next stitch, and normally you would yarn over your hook and pull it through to the other side. That is not what we're doing. So I'm going into my next stitch and I'm going to yarn under and go through that way and pull it through. Yarn over, pull through both. So I've done one, so that's my third stitch. Go back in through. Remember, we're not yarning over, we're yarning under. Pull through, and now we're yarning over and pull through both, and we've done 4. To continue, remember we need 12, 5, 6, 2 in the next, 7, 8, 2 in the next, 9, 10, 2 in the next, 11 and 12. And we're back at the start of the round, and now it's time for round 3. For round 3, the pattern is 1 single crochet followed by 1 increase, which are done with the single crochets, and we're going to do that 6 times. At the end, you'll end up with 18 stitches. So again, I've got no stitch marker, I'm just going to count. So it's 1 single crochet in the next stitch. There's 1, and then an increase in the next. 2 and 3. 1 in the next. 4, 2 in the next. 5 and 6. 1 in the next. 7, 2 in the next. 8, 9, and we're halfway. 1 in the next. 10, 2 in the next. 11, 12, 1 in the next. 13, 2 in the next. 14, 15, 1 in the next. 16, 2 in the next. 17, 18, and that's the end of round 3. Round 4 is a bit different to the other rounds that we've done so far, but it will give us 24 stitches. So to start off with, we're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 increase. After we've done those, we're doing 2 single crochets followed by an increase 5 times and then a single crochet at the end. So again, I'm just going to count because I know we need 24 stitches. So 1 single crochet. There's 1. An increase into the next stitch. 2 and 3. Now we start doing our 2 single crochets followed by an increase. So 2 single crochets, 4 and 5, increase in the next, 6 and 7. 2 single crochets, 8 and 9, 2 in the next, 10 and 11, 2 singles, 12, 13, 2 in the next, 14, 15, 2 singles, 16, 17, 2 in the next, 18, 19, 2 singles, 20, 21, 2 in the next, 22 and 23. Now just finishing off with 1 single crochet, which is number 24, and there is round 4 complete. For round 5, we're doing 5 single crochets followed by an increase, and we will have 28 stitches at the end. We're doing our 5 single crochets followed by the increase 4 times. So counting again up to 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we need to do 2 in the next stitch, 6, 7, 5 single crochets, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12, 2 in the next, 13, 14, 5 single crochets, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 2 in the next, 20, 21, then 5 single crochets, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 1 more, 26, and then 2 in the next, 27 and 28, and that is the end of round 5. So round 6, we're just crocheting all the way around our 28 stitches. Round 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 are all exactly the same. So I'm just going to show you one round and then I will let you continue while I do the rest off camera. I will say though that we will be inserting our safety eyes between rounds 8 and 9. So if you want to put a marker in between those rounds so you know where they are, you can do so. I will probably come and show you back on camera how to do that. So we've got 28 stitches, we need 28 stitches, and this is round 6, just 1 in every single stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. So it's as simple as that, just one single crochet or double crochet UK terms all the way around for 28 stitches. You need to do that for round 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. I am going to come back and show you after I get to the end of round 9, so I can show you how to put a marker in for where your eyes are. So I'll meet you at the end of round 9. So I've just finished round 9 and this is what my shape now looks like. And now I'm going to show you how to mark where the eyes are going. So I just cut off a small piece of black wool. Doesn't matter what it is, it can be anything, could be any colour. And I'm going to thread my needle. The easiest way to do this, if you've never been shown before, is to put your yarn over your needle. Pull down as hard as you can and then squeeze it. And it creates a really thin point between your fingers. And you should be able to now just push that straight up through your needle. So there you go, little hack. That's how to thread a needle really quickly with wool. So my wool is on my needle. I like to make sure that my eyes are at the front of my project. So this is the back of our project because that's where our last stitch was done. It doesn't have to be exactly central, but we're going to thread the wool so it marks out 6 stitches. Now one stitch is one of these squares. So if I put my wool up through this hole here and then I count 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, I want my wool to come back up through this hole here. So it would come up through that one. And I can pull that one through. And now I have it marked off where I need my eyes to go. And I can just leave that in while I'm crocheting the rest of my pumpkin. So now we need to do round 10, which is just one more set of the 28 stitches all the way around. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. So now we can insert our safety eyes. So for the eyes, they're quite easy to do in that the explanation of them is quite easy, but they can be a bit fiddly. So I'm going to pull out one end of that black yarn into the middle, and I know what line I'm on, so I don't need to worry too much after removing that one. But remember, it's 6 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So push your eye through. So my eye is in. And then I like to turn that one inside out just a little bit, just to make it a bit easier. And then we pick up the back, and you can put this on either way. Some people put it on that way, some people put it on this way. So put that one on the end, and you've just got to simply push it on. I say simply, it can be difficult. There we go, there's one on. Now it's just a case of removing that wool, putting your other eye in. There we go, and that one's on. So now we can move on to round 11, where we're going to be doing our decreases. So round 11 is single crochet 5 followed by a decrease, and we do that 4 times, which gives us 24 stitches. So 5 singles and then a decrease. So into the first, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now we're going to do a decrease. If you haven't done one of these before, they're quite simple to do. We're just making 2 stitches into 1. So you want to go into your next stitch and pull up a loop. We're then going to go into the one after and pull up a loop. Into the next stitch, pull up a loop. So you've got 3 stitches on your hook. We'll then yarn over and pull through all 3, and we've decreased. I know we went into 2 stitches, but we've made it into 1, so that is our 6th stitch. So now another 5 singles, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one more decrease. Into the next, pull up a loop. Into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. We've done 12, we're halfway. 5 singles, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17. Now 1 decrease. 18, 5 singles, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 1 decrease, 24, and that's round 11 complete. For round 12, it's a bit different, and we're going to be going for 18 stitches. We're just starting off with 1 single crochet and 1 decrease. So 1 and then 1 decrease. 2. We're now going to be doing 2 single crochets followed by 1 decrease 5 times. So we've done 2 stitches. We now need to do 2 single crochets, 1 decrease, 2 single crochets, 1 decrease 5 times. So we've done 2 singles, 3 and 4, 1 decrease, 5, then 2 singles, 6 and 7, 1 decrease, 8, 2 singles, 9 and 10, 1 decrease, 11, 2 singles, 12 and 13, 1 decrease, 14, 2 singles, 15 and 16, 1 decrease, 17, and then just 1 single crochet at the end to take us to 18. That's the end of round 12. For round 13, we're going to be doing 1 single crochet followed by 1 decrease, and it will give us 12 stitches at the end of the round. And then once we've finished this round, we will then be stuffing our pumpkin. So 1 single, there's 1 decrease, 2, 1 single, 3, 1 decrease, 4, 1 single, 5, 1 decrease, 6, 1 single, 7, 1 decrease, 8, 1 single, 9, 1 decrease, 10, 1 single, 11, 1 decrease, 12. So that's the end of round 13, and we can now fill our pumpkin. So before we fill it, I'm just going to pull that one really far so we don't lose it. And your shape should look like something like this at the moment. Now when it comes to filling, obviously a pumpkin isn't perfectly round, it's quite flat on the bottom and the top. So I don't overfill my pumpkin, I don't fill it so it's completely bursting. I just put in a small amount so it keeps the shape, and then we can sort of squash it down a bit if we need to, just to make that more pumpkin-y shape. So I'll get my fibre fill, and I'm just going to get a small amount, put it in through, and just use my finger to begin with, just to pull it, just to push it, not pull it, just to push it through the hole. So it's quite full already. I'm just going to add a little bit more. Don't think I'll be needing all of that. So you can see that I can still squash him to be quite flat. So that should be the perfect amount. So this is our last round of orange. So you want to pull on your working yarn just to make your loop smaller again. And then we're going to do our last round, which is round 14. Don't move too quickly ahead, we're going to be changing colour on our last stitch. So round 14 is just a decrease 6 times, but as I said, we're changing colour on the last stitch. So this one can be a bit tricky because things are getting quite small and quite tight here. So pull up a loop in your first stitch, pull up a loop in the next, yarn over and pull through all three. We've done one. Into the next. Don't worry if you're going through your stuffing because you can just pull that out afterwards. There's two. Into my next, pull up a loop. Into my next, pull up a loop. There's three. Into my next, pull up a loop. Into my next, pull up a loop. There's four. Two more. Into my next, pull up a loop. Into my next, pull up a loop. There's five. And I'm just going to put this one down so I've got my brown ready to go. So I'll unwind a bit of this one. We don't need too much for the brown because it's just for the stalk. And I'll just lay out my yarn so I've got it ready to pick up because we're doing one more decrease, but we're changing colours in this stitch. So go into your next stitch, pull up a loop. Into the one after, pull up a loop. So you've got 3 loops on your hook. Do not pull through with your orange. We're going to pull through with our brown. So I'm going to take my brown, pull it over my hook, and just pull that one through those 3 loops, and we've now changed colour. So you can actually fasten off your orange, just leave enough to make sure that you can tie that one off. And we don't want it getting in the way. So round 15 is just as simple as 1 single crochet in every stitch around, and there's 6 stitches. I say simple, but this is a really small space. You can see how tight those stitches are, so this one can be a bit tricky. Just take your time with it. So into my first, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. There's 1. Into my next, pull up a loop, pull through both. There's 2. Into my next, there's 3. 3 more to go. There's 4. 5 and 1 more. There's 6. Round 16 is exactly the same as 15 with 6 single crochets. So into your first, there's 1, and your next, there's 2, 3, and my next, 4, 5, and 6, and that is the end of round 16. For round 17, we're going to do one more round of the 6 single crochets like we've just done for the past 2 rounds. Don't do this for the plush. If you're using plush yarn, you only need to do 2 rounds of the 6 single crochets and then move on to the next steps. But just for now, we're going to do another 6 singles with the DK cotton yarn. So into your first, there's 1, and then 2, into the next, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So there is our little pumpkin. We now need to fasten off, but leave enough of a tail so that we can sew on our keyring. I would say leave at least 30 centimeters. So I fastened off my brown yarn and I've added it to my needle. Now, as you can see, we've got a bit of a bump situation going on here. Where we've finished our round, it's a bit taller than the start. So we're going to see if we can correct that by doing a needle join. So if you take your needle and go in through the V's of the next stitch and pull that one up through, you can see already we have decreased that bump. We're then going to go back through this way, the stitch that we started with, so the last stitch of the last round, and that has decreased that bump and it's now straight. So we're going to use this yarn to attach our keyring. So we want to make sure it's central, so I'm going to go back up through the middle stitch there at the front and then back up through the centre of the pumpkin. I should have said pumpkin stalk then, shouldn't I? So it's coming up through the middle. There's a little bit of a hole there. I know it's really difficult to see because we're using quite a dark yarn. So now I'm going to grab my keyring and I'm going to go in through the last loop. And then we're just going to repeat that a few times. So back up through that middle stitch and into the centre, and then back up through the base of the keyring. So I've done it once, and there's 2, 3 and 4. So now I've done it 4 times, and make sure you pull on it and see if that one's quite secure, which it is. So now I'm going to go in through that stitch that we kept going in through right at the front of our work, and then I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to go through the base of my pumpkin into the hole and just pull that one down through, and you can now take your needle off of your work. I've put my pumpkin to one side. We're now going to make the leaf. So you want to make sure you've got at least a 15 centimetre tail, and then make a slip knot. And we're going to put that one on our hook. We're then going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we're going to slip stitch into the second chain. That is our first stitch from our hook. The one after is our second stitch away from our hook. So go in through, pull up a loop and pull that one through the loop that's on your hook to slip stitch. We're going to single crochet into the next stitch, or double crochet if you're using UK terms. So pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. We're going to half double crochet into the next stitch, or half treble if you're using UK terms. So yarn over into the next stitch, pull up a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Single crochet into the next, pull through both. And now into this last stitch we want to do a slip stitch, a single crochet and a slip stitch. So we're doing a slip stitch, so pull the yarn up through and pull it through the loop that's on your hook, and then a single crochet. So back in through the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. I'm now going to turn my work slightly because we're going to work along the other side. And we want to do a slip stitch still into that same space. So pull up a loop and pull it through that loop that's on your hook. Into the next one, we're doing a single crochet. So going through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops, half double crochet in the next, yarn over, into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three, single crochet in the next, pull through both, and then a slip stitch into the last loop, going through, pull up a loop, pull it through the loop that's on your hook, and I would just do a slip stitch into your first stitch just to secure that one. So going through that first V, if you can, because apparently I can't. There we go, that was a bit of a struggle. Pull your yarn through and through the loop that's on your hook, and there's your leaf. And you need to again leave at least a 15cm tail for sewing this one onto our pumpkin. So this is the front of our work and this is the back. I'm going to join my needle. I'm going to join my yarn to my needle, and I just want to take my yarn down the back of my work so that it comes out in the same place as the other end that we've got. So I'm just going to go through a few stitches like so, and then just pull that one all the way through so that it ends up in the same place as the other one. So just pull it all the way through, and then you've got your two ends coming out in the same place. Don't pull it too far because your leaf will curl up. We want to make sure you've got your pointed top and then you've got your threads coming out the bottom. And here's where we can add it on to our pumpkin. So placement wise, you need to decide where you want your leaf to go. It can go either side. You can see on my finished one, I've got it in just here, and I'm going to be doing something similar now. So I'm going to go through this stitch here, down through, and then up through this one, and go over it a few times just to make that leaf secure. So I'll pull that one through and make sure it's standing exactly where I want it to. I'm now going to go through the base of the leaf, just one of the stitches. It doesn't have to be perfect that you go through an exact stitch. Pull that one through again. And already that is standing up and exactly where I want it to be. So I'm just going to do that one more time, go through the same stitch at the base of the leaf and through the stitch on the pumpkin and pull that one through again. So now that one's fastened on, you just want to take your green back through the base of your leaf and then through to join the brown at the base of your pumpkin, so you can just pull it through the hole at the bottom. We're going to do exactly the same with the other green that we have left at the top of the keyring. So thread it through your needle. Then once your yarn is on your needle, just simply go through the top of your pumpkin, doesn't matter where, and through the base again. Through the hole in the bottom, because we're going to hide those stitches in the bottom. So we're now going to tie these off. So I'm just going to knot those a few times. Don't pull them too tight because you will affect how it looks. You can see mine's curving over there. I've pulled it too tight. Make sure it's straightened and exactly in the position you want it to be. Sorry, that is an awful noise, that keyring on the table. Loop it again, loop it again, and you can now cut those off. And we're going to hide those ends inside the pumpkin. So you can use the base of your needle just to push them through. So that's those gone. And now we're almost finished. We just need to do the blush on the cheeks and our pumpkin smile. So we're going to do the smile first. So we need some black embroidery thread. So for our smile, we are using the 2 central stitches between the eyes along the same line. So we would go in through this point, and then we would go up through this point. So we've covered 2 stitches. So it's the top right of one stitch and the top left of the other. So you can pull that one through, but make sure to leave enough of a tail so you've got enough there to tie off at the end. From here, we simply want to go in through the stitch that we just started from. We're then going to go into the bottom left of that stitch that we're going into. So we're going in through this one and out through that one. So if you pull that one through, you now want to get your needle and put it up through that loop that you've just formed. Because when we pull this one, it forms the smile. And pull that one as tight as you need it. We'll then go back in through that same hole that our yarn is coming out of, or our thread is coming out of, and again into the base of the pumpkin. And it should look like that. If you feel your smile is too tight and needs a bit of adjusting, just put your needle under the loops and you can pull them just to loosen it up again, because mine's gone far too tight there. There we go, that's better. Thread this end through your needle, go back in through where the yarn's coming from and out through the base. Don't pull too tight, or as again you will ruin that smile. And now you just need to tie your ends. Now at the moment we've got the brown yarn and we've got the black. So because the black is a lot thinner, I use the black as a single strand and then the brown as a single. So I will just tie those together. Again, sorry for that awful noise on the table. 1, don't pull too tight, remember, otherwise you'll ruin your smile. 2 and 3, and you can cut them off and you can thread them in through like we did for the other ends. So we're nearly done, just the blush to go. Get your pink embroidery thread and put that one onto your needle. So then we're going to sew on our blush. Now I always do the blush into the stitch that is a row below the eyes and a row to the right on the right eye and a row to the left on the left eye. So I'm going to go up through the base of my pumpkin, and then I'm going to come out through that stitch just there. Can you see which one I've gone through? Hopefully that will focus well enough for you to see. And then you can pull that one through. Remember to leave enough of a tail on that one so you can knot it at the end. And for the blush, it's so simple. We're going to go through to the other side of the stitch and back through where we've just came from. And pull that one, remember, not too tight. Back through the same place. So there's 2. And again, there's 3. And now once more. and you can sort of move that to get it exactly where you want it to make sure it's thick enough. So I've done those 4 stitches there now. We want to go back down through our pumpkin, and we're going to go to the same place on the other side. So it would be, we need to go through that one. And then again, we need to repeat what we've just done and just go over that stitch 4 times. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you can take your yarn back through the bottom and again tie those off because we finished the blush. So this is how our pumpkin looks now, and the next step is completely optional. With this one, I've obviously done the black lines just to signify that it's got those dents like pumpkins do, but you don't have to do that. Some would say that this looks a bit like an orange without them, but it's completely up to you. It's your imagination, it's your creation. You do exactly what you want to do. But I'm going to do the black lines for now. So I'm going to add some thread, black embroidery thread, back to my needle. And I'm going up through the base again. And we want a line that comes out sort of on the side of his face. We don't want to go too close to his eye. So I'm going to go up through and then it will come out around here. Remember to leave an end at the base of your pumpkin for sewing. So once you've done that one, you want to pull that one around and go all the way around him. Make sure it's straight. And then back in through the other side of your stalk. So I'm going to go through here. And it will end up the same place as where we started at the top if you've done it correctly. And pull that one tight enough so that it doesn't move. We're now going to go a slight, so we don't pull it out as we've just come in through this hole. I'm just going to go 1 over this side. And then I want to go so that the line comes down. We've done one to this side of the face. We want one down this side now. It's going to come out behind the leaf. So just here. Pull that one tight. And line it up so that it sits the same sort of place as this side does. And then again, we're going to go all the way around. Just like before, and go through the stalk again and out the other side so we end up in the same place. So we just need one down the back. I've got all these ends in the way at the moment. So go in through, so you end up in your base of your stalk at the back of your pumpkin. Now this time we don't want one going down the front as it will go through the middle of his smile. So we're just going to go down around the back. I then like to loop over the stitches that we've just done, just so they're all secure. I'm then going to go through one of the stitches at the bottom of the pumpkin, just one of the orange ones, just to secure this, and then go through the base again and pull that one up through And you can now loop your 2 ends and thread them through the base of your pumpkin again. So we had 2 ends left at the top of the pumpkin, which is the orange and the brown. I've just threaded them through. I'm going to tie them off. So there you have it. There is your finished Halloween Kawaii Pumpkin Keyring. I hope you found this one easy to do and easy to follow along with. If you do have any issues, please make sure to leave a comment on the video and remember to put a timestamp. So for example, if you just put like it was at 20 minutes and 2 seconds that I didn't understand what you were doing, I'll be able to follow back and see where you've had an issue. Of course, I said at the beginning of the video that you could possibly win this keyring. If you would like to do so, you need to like this video, and you also need to leave a comment of win. Just comment win under the video. I'm happy to ship these anywhere in the world. If you win the competition, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter where you live. I will be making a series of these, as I said at the start of the video. So there are 5 different Halloween keyrings to collect and make. So we've got the pumpkin. Our next one is the ghost. We've got the candy corn. And then we've got 2 more, which you haven't seen yet. We have got our skull face and 1 more. We have got the cauldron. So that is the Halloween Kawaii Keyring collection that we are going to be making over the next 5 weeks. So I hope you like them. I absolutely love them. I think they are so cute. I don't know which order I'm going to be making them. So that's also something that you can do, is if you comment on this video with which one you'd like me to make next, and I will make that one next. So like I said, this has been the Halloween Kawaii Pumpkin Keyring. Leave a like on the video, please, if you've enjoyed it, as it helps me out so much. Leave a comment if you need any help, or even if you just want to chat. And remember to comment win if you want to win the keyring. If you hit subscribe, you will receive a notification for when the next video is posted, which is especially useful as this is going to be a series. And if you like this video, you might like this one just here.